Is there going to be another 90% drop in the market, a bear market of such epic proportions that it's going to make you want to curl up and cry? Well, that's the exact kind of thing that happened back in 2018, 2019. We saw Bitcoin go down by 87%. Ethereum went down by like 94%. Most altcoins went down by 99%. Some altcoins went down by 99.99% and just kept on dropping and have never come back. But I think that a lot of the 2017, 2018, 2019 survivors, they have a bit of PTSD right now and are overly pessimistic when thinking about where the market could be during the next bear market cycle. And I bring this up now because a lot of people think that we are entering into a new bear market cycle. I just want to be really clear at the start of this video. I don't believe that we are. Most metrics, most indicators that we use to determine where we are in the markets, and look, no indicators are perfect. Anything can always happen. I'm not a clairvoyant. I just look at the facts that I have, the indicators that I know and understand, and try to make an opinion based off of those. But from what I see, we are not in a new bear market. We are in a bearish trend within a wider bull market right now. That's something to keep in mind. This is not a new bear market, but a new bear market will come at some point. All markets have cycles. Nothing goes straight up forever. And the cryptocurrency market is a damn volatile market. Now, volatility, it is the price that you pay for performance in this market. These are not bonds or something like that that are going to give you safe returns. Yeah, but you're going to make like 0.1% a year. If you want those big, exciting gains to make life-changing money, cryptocurrency is it. I think that during this decade, the cryptocurrency markets are going to make so many millionaires. You can be one of those people, if that's what you're looking to do, to change your financial destiny. And that the current bull market in of itself over the next 6 months to a year is going to make a lot of people very, very wealthy. But there will be a bear market again at some point. This is how the markets work. When exactly that comes, nobody knows. How bad it will be, nobody knows. But I personally believe that we're not going to see that minus 90% bear market like we have previously. In this video, I'm going to lay out the reasons why I believe that we are not going to see a bear market that is as extreme as the one that we saw back in 2018. My name's Lark. Every day I make videos talking about cryptocurrency investing. So if that's a topic you'd like to learn some more about, make sure you subscribe to the channel, gently tap the thumbs up button to show your appreciation for these kind of videos, and click on the notification bell if you want to know when I put out a new video. By the way, every single week I make an investor report along with my team called Wealth Mastery, giving you an edge on the cryptocurrency market. Every single issue we have an interview with an industry leader, deep dive report on an altcoin, top tier technical analysis, a trending coin report, the latest token sales, a step-by-step DeFi tutorial, and much, much more. All of that for less than $10 a week, making this the most value-packed and at the same time the most affordable investor report on the market. Click on the link down below me here in the description where you can learn more and become a member today. Okay, now let's talk about where we are right now and why a lot of people are kind of starting to panic a little bit. I think we're at a phase in the market where we've really kind of seen some shit coinery of a pretty epic scale happening. And that's not a term that I use lightly. It's a Bitcoin maximalist term used to describe anything that's not Bitcoin as being inherently bad and evil. But you have to keep it real. The markets have been pretty gosh darn crazy recently. We've seen dog meme coins, which literally do nothing, launching and going up to valuations in the millions and hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars in a very quick amount of time. A lot of retail money coming in and just gambling in the market. We also have seen the rise of some pretty big new Ponzi schemes coming into the market, which again is a very definitive sign of new retail money entering the market. And you just have to keep in mind, if you are a new cryptocurrency investor, these things are not stocks. You don't have really any rights with a lot of these coins or tokens in the same way that you would with the stocks. You're not getting shares of anything. Many of these tokens are massively speculative and have no revenue models that will actually drive the token price long term, besides people just gambling on the asset prices. The governance tokens don't really do anything for you as an investor, and people are buying these tokens without really understanding what the heck they actually are. A lot of assets long term are not going to survive for multiple reasons. So you have to understand that. But that's not actually so different from the traditional investing world, where something like 9 out of 10 startups fail. It's pretty similar in crypto. It just moves a lot faster, and there's a lot more volatility and general craziness happening. But if you are new to the market, if you've joined in the last week or the last month or even the last year, you may not have experienced these kind of extreme volatility events that happen so frequently in the markets. And that has led a lot of people, particularly a lot of newer investors, to basically be panicking, to be saying, well, if Bitcoin's down 10% or my altcoin portfolio is down 30 or 40%, that's it. Bull market over, the bear market is here, and everything is now going to go down by 90%. And yes, over time, some assets will go to basically zero, especially some of these super speculative altcoins that people are throwing money into right now. But 2021 is not 2017, 2018, or any of these other years. What is happening right now, it just blows my freaking mind. If you weren't here in 2017, we had almost no working products. It was pretty rough in a lot of ways. I felt like more like using the internet in the early 90s, and maybe now we feel like more like using the internet in the late 90s or something like that with some of the experiences in some of these chains. But the reality is this: we have real technology, real value, real disruption, and real users flooding into the market. The products are getting better all the time. The applications are getting better all the time. The liquidity keeps getting deeper. This is a big deal because Bitcoin, it was the tip of the spear, right? Bitcoin, censorship-resistant money. You can send it to anybody in the world. Broke down the walled gardens of finance. That was a big, big deal. Bitcoin Gold 2.0, right? It's a bank in your pocket, a Swiss bank in your pocket, if you will. It's your savings account where you just put some money in, your Gold 2.0 kind of thing. But Bitcoin is limited in its use cases. The technology goes so much deeper. The things that we're seeing come up right now in the cryptocurrency economy, incredible stuff. We have borrowing and lending markets that don't require any identification or any of that stuff. You just have your wallet and you can start interacting with these protocols. This is totally game-changing stuff we're talking about here. We also have synthetic stock markets, which have come up. So anyone in the world can now own a piece of Microsoft or Twitter or whatever stock they might want to own in a synthetic version. That is game-changing stuff. We have decentralized markets where you can exchange value with anyone, anywhere, with no middleman necessarily sitting in there. This is just a program running. This is a technology protocol. This is absolutely incredible stuff. We have decentralized identity protocols. We have decentralized derivatives markets, decentralized margin trading. We have assets like gold and stablecoin dollars and all this stuff which is being used on a massive scale right now. So the market has changed big time from 2017 with all this actual adoption which is happening. It's incredibly exciting. And there's another big factor which makes me think that a 90% bear market is less and less likely, and that is big freaking money entering into the markets. Some of the biggest stories over the last year have been about the hedge funds, the companies, the private funds, the endowments, the pension funds, who else? Everybody, the millionaires, the billionaires, your Uncle Joe. Everybody getting into the game. But the big money guys, that is where the real conversation starts to come in about we may not have a 90% correction bear market. These guys are changing the game in a serious way. Because when they enter into these markets, they're bringing completely new strategies and completely new investing ideologies. Whereas your average retail investor will buy something at the top, the price goes down by 10%, they panic, sell it, run away and call the big market a big old scam, or they lose all their money, throwing into a meme coin or something like that. The big money guys are playing a totally different freaking game. These guys are coming in and they're buying Bitcoin, for example, as a long-term wealth asset. They're looking at it as a cash alternative. They're looking at it as gold 2.0, except gold has a $10 trillion market cap. Bitcoin has a $1 trillion market cap. They're looking at this asset class as being massively undervalued, something that over this decade is going to appreciate massively. We're talking about disrupting all financial markets everywhere and giving everyone everywhere unimaginably deep access to any kind of financial instruments. No matter where you are, if you have access to the internet, you can access the cryptocurrency markets. It is a revolution beyond most people's comprehension in terms of how deep this technology goes. But you have these big money guys who understand the value proposition of what is being made here. They're not going to be tourists like a lot of people coming to the market are. These guys are getting in with serious investing strategies and they're bringing in serious money with them. They literally have tens of trillions of dollars at their disposal. For example, public companies have about $10 trillion sitting in their treasuries. So that's a lot of money that can come into the market. Even a couple percent of that money entering the market is massive. When we start to look at the money with hedge funds and all these different institutions, we're talking just tremendous amounts of money. We've also seen this year the entry of sovereign wealth funds into the cryptocurrency market. That means literally the investment arm of countries coming into crypto. That's been happening this year. Again, these guys aren't getting into it for a quick 2 or 3% gain. Put 100 million into Bitcoin, get 2% gains, cash it out for $2 million profit. These guys are bringing in $1 billion and buying Bitcoin, and then waiting for that $1 billion to turn into 10 or $20 billion over a 10 or 20 year time frame. They understand the scarcity of these assets and the disruption potential of this entire asset class. So the big money is probably one of the biggest reasons, in my opinion, why the game is changing completely for crypto, and we're unlikely to see that 90% correction bear market like we had previously. Another thing that makes me think that we're not going to see that kind of intense correction for the next bear market is what actually happened with tech stocks. So if you look at the charts for tech stocks back in 90s and the early 2000s, the dot-com bubble, all that stuff, what you're going to see, and of course up to now, what you're going to see is that in the early days, extreme volatility for a lot of these stocks. We also had a lot of companies launching which famously didn't make it, pets.com, stuff like that. Maybe you could draw a comparison between pets.com and dog meme coins that we're seeing right now. But over time, the big tech stocks, your Apples, your Amazons, all these kind of companies, they went on to have the biggest, most incredible gains you could possibly imagine. And that volatility of these assets has gone down over time as more and more big money entered into these companies. The volatility has gone down. So in the early days, much like with Bitcoin and Ethereum and the wider cryptocurrency industry, the market was super volatile because it was such a small market. Very small amounts of money coming in or out moved the prices dramatically. But as crypto continues to get bigger, it's going to take more and more money to move Bitcoin even by a little bit. When Bitcoin gets up to being a $5 or $10 trillion asset class, and the target for Bitcoin is to take on gold as a store of value, which would be a $10 trillion market cap, at that point, we're unlikely to see a 90% drop in the market. Can you imagine a 90% drop in the gold market? And gold's seen a lot of volatility over the years, but it hasn't seen any 90% drawdowns. The more money comes in, the less volatility there is. The higher the market caps go, the less volatility there's going to be. I personally think that yes, there's going to be lots of big corrections. There'll be bear trends that could last for a year or two, but I think that right now we're standing on the precipice of the greatest wealth generation event of your lifetime. We are probably in for a 10-year cryptocurrency bull market right now that's going to just blow people's minds. People in 5 years' time will look back and go, oh my gosh, why didn't I buy back then? Why didn't I hold on to my cryptocurrency assets? And look, I have a final thought here for you before we end this video. There's only one thing that you can control in the market. There will be bear cycles, there will be bear markets, there will be short-term bear trends, there will be massive corrections, big old fat dumps, all of this stuff. Your altcoins, some of them are going to fail dramatically because the team quits or they dump the tokens or nobody wants to use their product or they get hacked or gosh knows what. You can't control any of that stuff. That stuff is out of your control. What happens in the market is out of your control. The only thing that you personally can control is your investments, your portfolio, what you think about them, the meaning that you give to what's going on in the market, and what you buy and what you sell, and when you buy it and when you sell it, which is why I'm always preaching, make sure to take profits. The more speculative your investment, the more profits you should be taking on it. Things like Bitcoin, things like Ethereum, I look at those as long-term assets, potentially never going to sell them. These are long-term wealth vehicles. But those altcoins, you got to click on that sell button, guys, because the reality is that this market is insanely volatile and that taking profits into a habit, oh, it makes you feel so good. It makes you feel so good because once you've got your initial money out of a position, let's say you put $10,000 in a Litecoin triples in price, you take your 10,000 bucks back out, you still have 66% of your Litecoin. You're going to think a lot differently about that Litecoin bag now because now, whether it goes up or down, you're not going to lose any money. You have managed your risk. You've taken your capital back out. Now it's just about, am I going to make more profits or less profits? That's a good feeling. Managing your risk, taking charge of your portfolio like a boss, that is the one thing that's really going to determine the winners from the losers in this market long term. That is the one thing that you can control. You can't control when a bear market comes. You can't control what happens with the teams, your altcoins and all that stuff. You can't control what regulators do. You can control you and the buying and selling and the clicking on the buttons. That's it. So manage that because that is what you have control over. Anyway, just my thoughts for today. With the market being down, a lot of people being a bit pessimistic, I wanted to share my thoughts on this for you. Your question for today: do you think that there is going to be another epic bear market where everything crashes by 90%, or are those days behind us? Let me know down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching today's video, and peace out till next time.